happening?
It's exciting.
Wow, I love this show.
C'est une émission très 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 importante.
You'll find it to be exciting,
exuberantly alive.
And while businesses grow in a city, the economy grows.
Anniesmart Show!
Adding value to life and creating a better society. Friends, you are welcome to Anniesmart Show. My name is Anniesmart. Anniesmart Show is about adding value to life and creating a better society. On today's episode, we have a very special guest, a man whose life is worthy of emulation. Please let's welcome the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Development in Rivers State, Nigeria.
Owene Wonodi is the Honorable Commissioner for Youth Development, Rivers State, South Nigeria. He holds a higher university diploma in mechanical engineering from the University of Port Harcourt, a postgraduate diploma in environmental management technology from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Futo. He also has a Master of Science in environmental management from the Imo State University, Owerri. He is a distinguished technocrat, an environmental and safety expert, and an internationally recognized professional. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Environmental Society, NES, a fellow of the Environmental Management Association of Nigeria, EMAN, and a member of the Institute of Public Diplomacy and Management, IPDM. Sir Owene Wonodi has over 20 years experience in the oil and gas industry in developing management and solution providing, and his expertise in the industry cuts across the shores of Nigeria. Sir Owene Wonodi is happily married with 3 children.
Welcome back. If you just joined in, you are watching Anniesmart Show. And today we have a very special guest, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth Development in Rivers State, Nigeria. Let's welcome Sir Owene Wonodi. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, for every politician, statesmanship and patriotism are the core driving factors for joining politics. What is your specific vision for being in politics and also your ideology?
Thank you. First and foremost, let me use this privilege to welcome you to my office and also to extend my profound gratitude for wanting to elicit my own part of view why I'm in politics and what it takes. However, the reason behind my being in politics is born out of the passion that I have, having studied environmental management at the university level. I discovered that there are just only one thing that God has bequeathed for man, for his existence, and that is the environment. You may go further to ask me, what is an environment? Environment is you, me, and everything that is in it. So that is to say that the only thing we have is just the environment for us to exist. So I haven't studied environmental management and environmental engineering even in my postgraduate levels. That was exactly what opened my eyes to the fact that we have just only the environment to conserve for us to continue to exist, or else we will go into extinction. So immediately after my postgraduate programs, I started having this urge, I started having this burden, to go into politics. And I now, made up my mind to aspire to be the chairman of Port Harcourt City Local Government Area. That was far back in 2007. And what was my vision, or what was in my manifesto? My manifesto, or what I had in mind, my aim and objective then, was to make Port Harcourt to be greener, hospitable, and sustainable. So these were my core value or visions why I actually went into politics.
Okay, would you really say that the Nigerian politics today have the ruling class living through to their ideological posturing?
Well, it's a subjective question, and I would say no, that they are not living to their ideological posturing, in the sense that you would agree with me that for as many of us, let me use us now because I'm one of them, if you if you want to say that. Many of us who are in the ruling class, let me say that, please permit me to use that, because I'm not going to single myself out of this. Many of the Nigerian politicians, or many who are in the ruling class, one way or the other, some have been privileged to study overseas. Many have been going to courses in overseas. Many were even born in the Western countries, and they got themselves back into Nigeria. And they have this Western orientation. They see a whole lot of things overseas. But when they come back to Nigeria here, replicating what they have seen overseas becomes a problem. Why? The reasons are simply because, one, it's not as if we do not have functional laws, or we don't have institutions, to run those things, but just that the willpower, the political willpower sometimes is very weak, and corruption is one of the things that has led to why some of this thing is happening. There are two major factors. The ruling class, I would say that, one, they are authoritative in nature, and some of them are not they are not patriotic. They are unpatriotic to this country. If they were patriotic to this country, they will be men of selfless character. They will go outside their way to ensure that they work for the sovereignty of this country, and the issue of wanting to gather or wanting to get all wouldn't be there. And I would say that most of them that are in the ruling class do not have the loyalty for this country. There has been this idea of wanting to grab all, and there is this general belief that people that are into politics or the ruling class, that they are people that are embezzling the resources of this country. So that's why I would say that they have not lived up to the ideology of the political posturing, according to your question. And there are two things I want to say here. One has to do with inferiority complex. The other one has to do with superiority complex. Everyone in the ruling class sees his or herself as having been arrived, and any other person that is not within that, level is not regarded, to be at the same level with them. So these are part of the problems that has been. But thank God for one of the only surviving civic society organization that had lived up to her biddings, which is the Nigerian Labour Congress, that has over time, over the period, has always put the Nigerian government, including the ruling class, on their toes for them to remember that there are certain responsibility, that they owe the country. So I would say that they have not really lived up to, what they are expected to do.
Okay, the national conference is on right now. Do you think there's something wrong with our presidential system? And if your answer is yes, what would you subscribe to?
Yes, the national conference is on. I am not completely in agreement with what is going on. I'm not trying to preempt what they will do, but I pray that at the end of it, let it don't be like one of those conferences that has come and gone. Let it don't be like one of those things that after people will spend their time, their resources, their energy, and at the end they will sweep it beneath the carpet. I say this because Nigeria have not yet started practicing true federalism. You know what true federalism is? True federalism, according to what we were taught in government while we were in school, true federalism is a system of government where every individual state controls her resources, takes care of her affairs, and the government at the central, is the one that has a supervisory role that legislates what happens generally. Take, for instance, in the United States of America, you have the state of Texas, you have the California, you have different states. They all manage their resources, but they pay taxes to the federal government. They pay taxes to the central. And there are only a very few things that the central government, at the central, will only mediate. which is something that has to do with the law of labor, you know, and all that. But in our own context here, it is not the same, you know. Yet we still see ourselves as a republic. What is republic? What is republic all about? What is republic? According to Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary, it defines republic as a country that is being governed or run by a president and elected politicians at various levels. But in our own case, that is not what it is. Though we do not have a king and a queen here running, but you still find out that the true federalism that made us, or that will make us, that will enable us to be a republic, is not being practiced in its fullness. Yes, part of my disagreement about the national conference is this. One, take for instance, the federal government, many states in this country has been agitating, asking for the minimum wages, you know, the minimum wage for civil servants who are working in different government ministry, department and agencies, and some of them are even paid lower than 18,000 naira. Whereas in this ongoing national conference, you have just one person being given 30,000 naira per day just for their meal, 30,000 naira. And somebody that works for federal government is earning not even up to the 18,000. Some states are agitating for that. And at the end of the day, every month they will give them 1.4 million naira for accommodation. How do you reconcile this whole thing in the face of the present circumstance in Nigeria? For me, I rather prefer, or I expected that these men who have been so privileged to be appointed, you know, to be part of the national confab, to be men that will come out, men of transigent quality, you know, men of impeccable character, men who will be true statesmen, who would want to say, look, this is an opportunity for me, you know, to make part of my own quota to our country, towards the sustainability, towards the enhancement, you know, of this country.
Let's take a short break. We'll be back soon.
For sponsorship, advert placement or participation, please call Anniesmart Media on 0803-339-9869 or 0811-333-1412, or send us an email to info@anniesmartshow.com, or visit our website at www.anniesmartshow.com. Anniesmart Show, adding value to life and creating a better society.
Welcome back. If you just joined in, you are watching Anniesmart Show. Sir, your brief in government is youth development. I can tell you have a lot of work to do, because the Niger Delta presents probably the most gargantuan youth challenge in the country. Okay, what is your youth developmental model, and what challenges have you faced implementing them?
Well, thank you for asking me question directly on my own department, exactly what I do for the River State government. I would want to say, before I go into answering your question, youths are the most valuable asset, you know, for every nation, and it is an incontrovertible fact that they are the leaders of tomorrow, and they are the most valued possession any nation could have. Without the youth, there is no nation. Without the youth, there could be no nation tomorrow. So for me, the problem that I have been facing here is not just only arising from the restiveness, you know, of the youths in River State. The problems that I have been facing, some of them, is that they are in a haste. When you try to call them together to organize some kind of programs that will enlighten them, that will give them an insight, you know, of what they need to do for them to become socially responsible and self-reliant, which is the core value of my ministry, which is the vision of the ministry. So to some of them, they look at you as you're just speaking grammar to them. What they want is just give them money, or what they want is just give them something that will give them a job, that will make them to go to oil company. When you tell them that there is a process by which they need to pass for them to get to that level, they don't want to hear all that. All they just want is just now. You know, reason is that we are in a cosmopolitan city. This is the hub of the oil and gas activity in the, well, let's say in West Africa, Nigeria in particular. So the cost of living here is much higher than what it is in some other states of Nigeria. So every youth in this state, you know, is already been advanced.